All the stupid things I say and do and never really stop when I should never have begun. I really ought to drop it, but it's faster when you don't even have time to stop and think about the things that you were saying, cause they never really matter. But it's empty spaces in the air. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Oh no, all the million little empty spaces in the air. Fill it up, fill it up, fill it up. Oh no. Oh no, but
Hello and welcome to another tentative episode of Keep It Vegan. My name is Ben, as always, and just another quick one, really. I think I might do this in the future for kind of interesting stories like this one that pop up. I've not got much to say, but just kind of a few thoughts. It means I can get videos out more rapidly as well, which is always good. So this story is basically in response to a California ruling by a judge that says that coffee has to carry cancer warnings, specifically looking at businesses that have more than 10 employees, so places like Starbucks and so on. And it's part of an 8-year-old complaint that's been filed with the courts, and it's kind of moving into the civil response stage now. And really, I just wanted to have a quick chat about it. Not so much about the cancer coffee side of things. It's not something I've done any particular research into, so I don't know. I don't really have anything to say on the science or anything like that. But really, I mean, the idea is that coffee's a long-standing point of debate in the nutritional world. People can't really settle because the science doesn't really line up one way or the other, is my understanding. But there is a presence of a chemical, basically a substance inside coffee, which is believed to come from the roasting process, called acrylamide. And acrylamide is recognized by the WHO as a class 2 or 2A carcinogen. It is a probable carcinogen. It's something that probably causes cancer. The focus of their decision comes from dermal contact, so through your skin. There's, as far as I'm aware, there's very little evidence to show that consuming it, dietary acrylamide, is potentially dangerous for your health. But the fact that there is acrylamide thought to come from the roasting process in coffee, and acrylamide has been linked to various unpleasant cancers, coffee should carry a health warning, just to let people know that there is a risk of cancer from drinking coffee. As I say, I've not looked at the studies in particular. I'm just going to kick the microphone wire for fun. I don't really have much to say on that subject. As I say, acrylamide, it's worth pointing out that it has been shown to cause tumours in adrenal glands, thyroid, lungs, and balls in animal models through dermal contact. I don't think there's been much research done on consuming acrylamide. There's also a potential neurotoxic effect. What I think is interesting, though, as I say, this is recognised by the WHO as a probable carcinogen, Group 2A. In Group 2A, alongside substances like acrylamide as a probable cause of cancer, you'll find red meat. Yes, I'm afraid I'm going to start banging on that drum again. When are we going to start seeing cancer warnings on animal products? I mean, the science is there showing that there is a very strong correlation with cancer development in all animal products. But I mean, if we're looking specifically at red meat and processed meat, red meat is recognized by the WHO as a probable carcinogen, exactly the same as acrylamide. So, by all rights, if someone's walking through a supermarket, should they not be able to take a look at the red meat and go, oh, there's a cancer warning label on here? I'm of the age where I think I was just a kid when the warnings on cigarette packets in this country came out. And people looking up for us say, oh, it's not going to change anything, but we've seen smoking drop since. So I think people deserve to know. People who go and buy red meat or processed meat, as I'll get onto in a second, especially if they're buying it to feed it to their families and they have no idea that what they're giving their kids is a probable carcinogen. But yeah, moving on to processed meat, if we're looking at saying something that is a probable carcinogen has to carry a warning, the WHO recognised that processed meat is a Group 1 carcinogen, something that definitely causes cancer. And that means, and this is no sense of hyperbole or exaggeration, it means bacon, sausages, jerky, sandwich meat like ham, are in the same group. They're on the same level of carcinogenic potential, the same level of cancer-causing possibility as X-radiation, tobacco, and asbestos, amongst many other wonderful substances. Just, you can even have, I think it's on Wikipedia, you can just have a look at WHO Group 1 carcinogens and it'll give you the list. And that's excluding things like the polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons that you get from grilled meat, where the fat drops in the fire and basically you get these the hydrocarbons adhering to the meat, and they've been shown to increase cancer. Work like the China study has shown that a high amount of animal protein will actually accelerate, or has the potential to accelerate, cancer growth, carcinogenesis in your system. Famously, in the China study, the early days, or kind of pre the China study, Campbell and his team were feeding two groups of rats one of the most potent carcinogen on the planet, aflatoxin. Feeding one a 5% protein diet, feeding the other a 20% protein diet, and we were seeing that the 5% protein, so low animal protein, didn't grow cancer. The ones with high animal protein, 20% protein, were developing cancer at an incredible rate. You swap the diets over, you actually turn off and on carcinogenesis. And it is. It also bears pointing out that they were using animal protein for those tests. When they switched to using plant proteins like soy or gluten, there was no cancer growth. Think of it like a conveyor belt where people are having to assemble toys. You know how they used to show like the elves assembling toys in Santa's workshop. If you think of that as your liver cell, with aflatoxin, carcinogenic cells inside the liver cell, that process of making the toys, as it goes down person by person, is the process of filtering good cells and bad cells and what needs to go on for basically development inside the body, outside the liver cell. When you're on a high animal protein diet, that conveyor belt doubles, triples, quadruples in speed. And as I'm sure you can imagine, it means that your cellular functions can't work to the right pace, and things get missed. Aflatoxin cells get bound, and they leave the liver cell, where they are able to grow into full-fledgling cancer clumps. So yeah, that's kind of what I really wanted to point out. We've got so much evidence. I mean, by all means, you can head over to the Keep It Vegan website, www.keepitvegan.com. There's the source archive where I put all of my science. It's all annotated and it's all very easy to read. There's a nutrition thing you can have a look through there. There's so much evidence that just links cancer development with animal products, and there are no warning labels. So that's, personally, let you in a little secret, personally that's my goal. In my lifetime, I want to see, and ideally have played a part in, getting warning labels on meat products, because I guarantee the people who jump in on Facebook and comment saying, vegans, you're all whatever, and getting all very unpleasant. I'm part of a few unpleasant Facebook groups at the moment, supposedly open debate, but at the moment it's just people sending other people pictures of mutilated animals. It won't affect them. But people who are just buying food for their family, who don't realise, that's the crime of it. People don't realise, they don't have any idea that the food they're feeding their families is potentially carcinogenic. They don't realise that what they're giving their kids is lethal. It's horrifying. So that's what I'm going to try and get done. I'd love your help to try and do that. Let's all get this done together. That's all I wanted to have a chat about today. As always, as I say, head to the website. You can find all the business, the sources on there. I have a Patreon through which you can support me. I've got a printing project coming up to design a bunch of leaflets for handing out to businesses and so on that promote the economic reasons for doing animal products and so on. So that's going to be quite expensive, along with the software licensing I have to do for all of the editing I do for the programs I have to produce the show. So if you want to head over to Patreon and just you buy me a beer a month, you get access to all the behind the scenes stuff. We have a special Discord server as well where we can just chat whenever you want, which is pretty groovy. And yeah, as always, save the planet, save the animals, save yourself, go vegan.